Good evening, dear viewers. Come, draw closer to the fire. Tonight we journey back into the chilling twilight of the Soviet Union, an empire built on the illusion of absolute order. Permit me to regale you with a tale most grim, one that proves that even in the most rigidly controlled societies, a darkness can fester unseen just beneath the surface. It's a story that echoes through the frostbitten corridors of Russian history, a name that once spoken chilled the very marrow of a nation. Our subject tonight is Andrei Chikatilo. He was born in 1936 in the small Ukrainian village of Yablukna into a world already scarred by unspeakable trauma. The spectre of the Great Famine, the Holodomor, still haunted the land. His mother would tell him a story that would curdle in his young mind. A tale of his older brother, Stepan, snatched from their doorstep, a victim not just of starvation, but of desperate, cannibalistic neighbors. Then came the war, the Nazi occupation, another layer of horror pressed upon a childhood already steeped in deprivation and fear. They say hardship breeds monsters. For Andrei Chikatilo, these early years were a crucible, forging a psyche that would one day unleash its own reign of terror upon the world. Yet by the 1970s, the monster wore a mask of utter mediocrity. He was a teacher, a husband, a father of two, and a card-carrying member of the Communist Party. Outwardly, he was the very picture of a dutiful, if unremarkable, Soviet citizen. But this was a carefully constructed lie. Beneath that drab exterior, a private rage festered, fueled by chronic impotence and a searing sense of inadequacy. He had even been dismissed from a teaching post for molesting students. Yet the incidents were quietly swept under the rug, a catastrophic oversight that allowed the monster to evolve. His job as a supply clerk required constant travel, granting him the perfect cloak of anonymity to feed a monstrous hunger. His crimes began in 1978 in the town of Shakhty. 9-year-old Yelena Zakotnova, lured into a derelict house, became the first of his confirmed victims. And so it started. For over a decade, he became a phantom of the Soviet transit system. He prowled the shadowy train stations and desolate bus stops of the Rostov Oblast, hunting grounds teeming with the transient and the overlooked, the runaways, the unemployed, the lonely souls whom society had already forgotten. He was a predator preying upon the vulnerable, the lost, the unseen. The investigation was a masterclass in failure. Soviet ideology, which proclaimed that serial murder was a uniquely capitalist disease, blinded them. They refused to believe one man could be responsible. The pressure to close the case led to the ultimate injustice, the arrest, conviction and execution of Alexander Kravchenko for a murder Chikatilo had committed. An innocent man was shot while the real killer walked free. Chikatilo himself was even arrested in 1984, but a crucial error saved him. His blood type didn't match the evidence. The police, unaware of a rare biological condition where blood and semen types can differ, let him go. The monster had looked them in the eye, and they had let him walk away. His method was a chameleon of cruelty. To a lost child, he was a kindly grandfather. To a desperate young woman, an official offering a job. He exploited their trust, their hope, their vulnerability, luring them from the relative safety of the station into the dense, secluded forest strips that flanked the railway lines, and there the mask would fall. The violence that followed was an explosion of a lifetime of repressed rage. He attacked with shocking brutality, using knives, strangulation, and sometimes biting. His crimes were marked by extreme, ritualistic mutilation, a grotesque signature that baffled and horrified investigators for years. In all, he claimed the lives of at least 52 souls, 52 confirmed victims, men, women, and children ranging in age from 9 to 45. This sheer diversity shattered every criminal profile, sending investigators down countless wrong paths as the body count climbed ever higher. It was not until November 20th, 1990, that his reign of terror ended. A massive police operation codenamed Lesopolosa, Forest Strip, had put the region under heavy surveillance. A lone policeman noticed a disheveled Chikatilo emerging from the woods near a station. Acting on a simple hunch, he stopped him for questioning. The butcher of Rostov was finally caught. At first he was defiant. But when a psychiatrist read aloud a startlingly accurate psychological profile, his composure crumbled. The dam broke. Over 9 days, he confessed in chilling detail. "I am a mistake of nature, a mad beast," he lamented, his words laced with a chilling self-pity. His trial was a national spectacle, a symbol of the rot at the heart of the collapsing Soviet Empire. Chikatilo was executed with a single bullet to the back of the head in February 1994. His legacy, a brutal cautionary tale. His terror exposed the fatal flaws of a rigid system and forced a generation of law enforcement to confront the modern realities of criminal psychology. It is a permanent reminder that beneath the most mundane veneer of civility, the most unremarkable of faces, an abyss of extraordinary horror can fester, waiting. So, dear viewers, as you go about your quiet lives, remember, sometimes the most ordinary faces conceal the most extraordinary horrors. Good night and do sleep well.